Hello, sisters in service. This is your host, Kat Corchado, and welcome to episode 41. And today my guest is Jemmy. Now, Jemmy, I see your last name, but honey, I hate butchering people's last names. And it sounds very French to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so say your last name for me.
All right. So as it is said in the motherland, it's Legagneur, but I usually just say Legagneur. But either way, here's the trick. The second G is silent, like in lasagna. So that's how it's easiest to remember.
See, I was going to do that. And I was like, no, because I will totally butcher it. But it sounds so much prettier when you say it. You know, do you ever have people butcher your name?
Oh my gosh, all the time. All the time. And it's like, pick one. Is it going to be the first name, the last name, all of the above? You never know.
No, I've had people actually butcher my name. You know, it's like Corchado. How can you mess that up?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of something creative and I got nothing.
Oh, I usually get Corchado. I'm like, really? No, it doesn't even sound right when you say it, right?
No.
Well, Jemmy, welcome to Sisters in Service. For those of you that don't know, Jemmy's not a veteran. However, her energy, her laughter, what she brings to the table is so magnetic that I just had to have her on. So a little backstory. I met her on Clubhouse and, you know, everyone calls her Producer Jemmy, and you'll find out why. But she came into a room and it was about being a guest or finding a guest. And she came on stage and in my mind, I'm thinking, who is Producer Jemmy when she's not Producer Jemmy? So she came on stage and she says, oh, you know, I'm looking to be on a podcast and talking about me and who I am. And I was like, bingo. And I immediately back messaged her and said, hey, you need to be on my podcast. So thank you so much for doing this.
Of course. Thank you.
Such fun to be on this platform with you. So the very first thing is that when I went to your website, which is very fun, by the way. I love how you set it up. But at the very top, it says live, laugh, love. And I love that. I love the laugh, the love, the part, because it just keeps everything so even keel. Mm-hmm. So why is that so important to you?
It's important to me because, look, I have been through the ringer in life. I mean, trust me, I know there are people who've had it a million times worse than I have, but I've been through it, okay? I've been through some stuff. And at the end of the day, like, you have to keep on living. You have to keep on going. You have to still put one foot in front of the other. And in order to sometimes shine light into the darkness, laughter is a great way to do it. Laughter is a great way it's good medicine, man. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to love. You know, when people say, what's the meaning of life? That's the answer for me. It's about loving each other, loving yourself, loving God. So live, laugh, love. I love it.
I love that. I just really, really do. And then I looked at your faves, and number at the top, as it should be, was your son. But I also know that you're a single parent. So what you may not know is that when I was in the military, I went in as a single parent and stayed a single parent for the entire 18 years that I was in. I'm sorry, 20 years. I say 18 only because that's when I met my husband, so I was almost out. But people ask me all the time what the hardest job I've ever done. And to date, as of the recording of this podcast, it has been being a mom and especially being a single parent. Mm-hmm. So what is that like for you? Did you get in? It was, you know, I don't think anyone chooses to be a single parent. Maybe you do, but you actually find yourself in that role. How hard was it to switch gears and be that single parent?
Oh my gosh. That was an extremely turbulent time for a number of reasons. So, in Florida, there's this thing that they call it an at-will state, which means they're at will to fire you for whatever reason, y'all. Okay. So I lost my job because I got pregnant. They'll say it was for quote unquote financial reasons, but it was because I got pregnant. I mean, let's just be real. So I lost my job. My roommate also wasn't happy that this woman living with her was now pregnant, so she was kicking me out. So that was fun. And then at the same time, my son's father made it very, very clear that he wanted nothing to do with well, I don't want to say nothing to do with it. He wasn't sure. He made it very difficult for me to have an enjoyable pregnancy. I did not have an enjoyable pregnancy, not even for one moment. It was extremely stressful. My doctors were so concerned that they actually ended up having me go into therapy because they were concerned I might miscarry because of the stress. When I say that, this is not something I put out there often, but when I say I was being mistreated, I was being horribly mistreated. And I went through that pregnancy, ended up on my own because it was either mistreatment or on my own. I chose to be on my own. And the day after our son was born, and his father had the choice to be in or out, and not with me. That option was long gone, okay? But he had the choice to be in or out. And he looks at me and says, I don't know. I don't know. Literally holding our son. He says, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been this difficult thing where I look at this baby that I'm holding and I'm like, man, I want to give him everything. And that includes a good relationship with his father. I hope to do that. But at least at the end of the day, I want to be able to look back in my life and say, I didn't do anything to get in the way of that.
Right.
And so it became a really difficult choice where I had to endure the uncertainty of what his dad wanted. His dad also sued me while I was pregnant for a child he said at first wasn't his. He then sued me for child support. He sued me for full custody, and he sued to force the doctor to have him in the delivery room with me. So this is while I was still pregnant, already under therapy because of other things that he had done. So it was horrific. But having to decide, like in that moment, holding my child, to say, I'm going to do everything I can to put that aside, put you first, and try to give you a good relationship with this man. And it has been rough and tough and not easy. And it's been me sacrificing myself over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, my son ended up having a pretty good relationship with his dad. Now, it's still not perfect. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to be worked through. But at least I know that I'm doing everything I can, and it's not easy because at the same time I started a kid, I started a business, and so it's just like I lost my job, starting a business, lost my roof over my head. It's like everything just that could have gone wrong pretty much went wrong at the same time. But the one thing that went beautifully right was I had a healthy son, and so that's what mattered at the end of the day.
And that is what matters at the end of the day. And it's hard when people, because I've been a loner most of my life, only because, in my 20s when I should have been living life, and I was living life, reality more like it.
Yeah.
And my friends were out partying, and I was being a mom. I was doing those mom things. So I was looking at some of your faves. Again, so your son was at the top, and I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to get it. I know I'm going to get an answer. Why zombies? Why zombies?
Okay, so I don't know what it is about zombies, but when they do that classic sound, it makes me laugh so much. Like they could be in the middle of eating someone's face. I don't care. That sound they make makes me die of laughter. And I've always said, listen, at the end of the day, if there's a zombie apocalypse, like I'm going out like a champ. Like I'm gonna have like the best time. I'm gonna have a kill count. Like I'm gonna go out like a champ. So yes, I don't know what it is about zombies, zombie movies, all those things. They gas me up. I love, and I love like their different variations of zombies. So depending on what kind of mood, am I in the mood for slow zombies, fast zombies, zombies where it's a virus, zombies where it's like you never know. Like I love it. I love it.
I love watching those types of movies and shows. And what kills me all the time are the people who get caught by those slow zombies. They're like, there's no zombies out there. Right. What's that? I'm like, you dummy.
Meanwhile, I'm like tripping my friends. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But like, I'm like, as long as I'm faster than y'all, I'm good. That's the key.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had to ask you about that. I was like, really? Zombies?
I love zombies. Okay. I don't know why, but I don't know why. But it is.
My husband and I love watching those kinds of movies that, I don't like, I love scary movies, but not the gory ones, because it's not that they scare me. It's like, they're just unrealistic. The ones that scare me are the ones that are real. Like that could
Yes.
really happen.
Yes, like Saw freaked me out. I almost couldn't make it through the first Saw. I'm like, this is too like the fact there could be a mind, even though it was a character, the fact that there could possibly be a mind. Someone created that character, so that mind is there, right? There's a mind on this planet that created that character. Just the fact that mind exists is horrifying.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things we watch all the time and is most terrifying to both of us is isolation horror.
Yes.
Like being in a old abandoned hospital.
Yes.
Those types of things, being in the woods and it's the only cabin and there's no neighbors for 10, 15 miles. Yeah,
oh
no.
My God.
No. If my friends ever said, hey, we're going camping, we're going to be isolated. No. I love y'all, but no. I'm good. I'm so good.
Until they invent a Freddy spray, a spray against Freddy or Jason or whatever, I ain't going.
No, I'm staying away from there. So just saying. Now, one of your unfaves.
Oh Lord.
Roller coasters. Now, let me just say this. I love roller coasters. I love them. I went to a park one time. I didn't go on any other rides except all the roller coasters. I absolutely love roller coasters. So what is it about roller coasters? You just go, yeah, nope, can't do it.
I can't do it. Okay, it's two things. One, I get vertigo. I've developed vertigo fairly, late in life. In the last maybe 5-10 years, I've developed vertigo. So being like on a balcony or anything like that, it always makes me feel like I'm literally about to plummet to my death. There's nothing I can do about it. So that's one reason. The other reason is like I have to have a lot of faith and a whole lot of people, a whole lot of mechanics, a whole lot of calculations, a whole lot of wear and tear and maintenance and all of that. I have to have a whole lot of faith that I'm not going to go flying off those tracks or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like every time I go on one and I'm rounding a corner, I'm like, please don't fly off. Please don't fly off.
Okay. I have to ask you this. Are you a Virgo?
Yes.
Oh my God. So's my husband. He does the same thing. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to go do this. He goes, well, I just read a story about one. And you're like, thank you. You just killed it. He goes, you can still go. And I'm like, no, I'm good. No, because you jinxed me now. You jinxed me now.
Well, there was this water park when I was a kid down here called I think it was called Six Flags. So I have no relation to the amusement park. It was a water park. And when I was a kid, there was another kid that actually flew off of one of those water slides. And just hearing that once, like I still have, I'm a little more brave with water slides, but anything like that, I just feel like there's a lot of faith that goes into me putting myself in. Because once you realize that the car's gone off the rails or your body's flowing out of the water slide, there's nothing you can do.
You're like, okay,
yes, that's it.
Let's. I hope I can swim.
Exactly.
Because there ain't a whole lot I can do right now.
Nope.
Yeah. I had to ask you that. I was like, she sounds like a Virgo.
Nailed it.
My husband wants all the maintenance records. I need to see the maintenance.
For real. 100%. I'm reading all the things I have to sign. When they ask me to sign my life away before I do anything, I read all of it.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So the other unfave was mean people. And I get that. I think sometimes you ever met those people that are mean, but they're mean for no reason? Like they always have a bad day and they take out their bad day on other people. I've never believed it. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to yell at you because I'm having a bad day because you have nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And that's one reason why I could never work retail, because as soon as you, okay,
I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I'm just going to walk away from you and I'm going to be rude because, especially now as I've gotten older, my mouth seems to overtake my brain and it starts talking before I start thinking about what I'm
not
saying.
So much of a filter anymore, is there, lady?
There's no filter at all. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, who said that?
Oh, where'd that come from? This disembodied voice. I don't know what just happened.
And the last unfave, and I have to ask you this, your right lung.
Oh, yes. I forgot that was.
I'm like, okay, I have got to ask her about this. What is this about?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Do you want the Cliff Notes version, or do you want the real deal story?
I want the real deal story.
Okay, you got it. So when I was in my junior year of college, I was in the business school, and there was a program you could do. It was a study abroad program. It costs a lot of money. I had to have a certain amount of grades, so I had to really, really work my butt off in order to make it. But I made it, and I was really excited. I'd never been to Europe before, and so I had saved all the money, paid for it, gotten the grades. I was ready to go. And I head off to, it was supposed to be 2 weeks in Madrid studying international finance, and then 2 weeks in Paris studying international business management, I believe. So I'm in Madrid, and a couple days into the trip, I accidentally eat raw chicken. I had gone down to the cafeteria to eat, and it was, I was busy talking, wasn't paying attention. So it was like 4 bites in before I really realized, I'm like, I mean, this doesn't really, the texture seems off.
Yeah, you're like, something's wrong with this.
I looked down, I'm like, God damn it. So a couple days later, I started to feel sick. And so I assumed it was like food poisoning. Now, what I didn't realize was food poisoning only lasts like 24 hours, something like that. And I just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I was trying to make it to classes, and I made it through, but I mean, I was in bad shape. So then and I was with my class. So there was only one adult from the school who was like our chaperone or whatever. Other than that, it was maybe 20, 25 of us from the school. And these 2 girls I had met, Liz and Jen, we became friends, and they kind of were very concerned. And so the first night in Paris, I was hanging out in their bedroom, and I doubled over in pain. And they're like, that's it. We're taking you to the hospital right now. Well, luckily, we were right up the street from the main hospital in Paris. And so when I get there, they do a bunch of tests and stuff, and they realize I had appendicitis. So it was a Sunday, and see, that was my right lung. I just had to clear my teeth. I'll get it there. It's why. That was my right lung.
It's reacting to the story.
I hate, yeah, don't tell this story. I don't like you either. So I go to the hospital. They do the test. I have appendicitis. They schedule the surgery for Tuesday. So I have my surgery. They have to kind of pump your abdomen full of some CO2, right? Now, when surgery is done, they're supposed to deflate you. They didn't do that with me. So I woke up looking like I was pregnant, okay? And I felt awful, and I was in a lot of pain, and I kept trying to tell them I was in pain. Meanwhile, the guy who had surgery the day after me, he's up walking around like nobody's business, like walking down the halls, and I'm in so much pain. And they kept giving me like antacids. I'm like, this is not doing anything. So, like when I say I'm in pain, I mean, there were times when it was hard for me to breathe. So I get up to go to the bathroom. Now my hospital room was fairly large, like much larger than your average American hospital room. To be honest with you, it's fairly large. So for me to get up to go to the bathroom, you got to drag your the thing that has your saline fluid and all that stuff. Yeah, your IV line, all that stuff. You have to drag it with you. So I'm basically using that like a support stick at this point, like a walking stick. And I'm walking across the room, and I go to the bathroom. Just to go to the cross room, go to the bathroom, come back, it was like at least a half-hour venture, just because I was so slow. Yes. So now on top of it, to make matters worse, because of my last name, there's such an assumption that I spoke French. Well, I can get by, but not when I'm in a lot of pain. Right. And so they were really... it was hard to communicate. And the night nurse, for some reason, took real offense that I wasn't speaking French. And she started abusing me and being awful to me. I remember one morning that I had woken up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, took me half an hour to go to the bathroom, come back. She just decides, oh, she's up for the day, and literally drags me down the hallway, like pulls me by my gown down the hallway, and then rips the gown off of me, and then turns the shower water on full blast, full heat, and like sprays me down. And I'm cowering in the corner, like crying hysterically because I'm in so much pain and not understanding what's going on. So then my friends Jen and Liz came, and I was telling them, and they're like, we need to get you out of here. So I had been in the hospital now about a week, and I checked myself out. I had to fill out all this stuff in French against medical advice stuff, you know. I'm like, oh my God. Well, so I get checked out. So the one chaperone who was with us on the trip had decided to arrange for my travel to just go home, right? Well, unfortunately, the airlines were on strike, so I couldn't go anywhere.
Oh,
So
man.
I was, so now I was out of the hospital and in a hotel. Now, luckily, my aunt lives in Dole, France, which is like, I don't know if it's 3-4 hours, something like that away. So she was able to visit me a couple of times, and she's a doctor. And so she at least could check on me. But other than that, I was without any medical care. And it got worse and worse and worse. So it went from not being able to sleep on my back to not being able to sleep on one side to only being able to sleep on the other side to then I had to sleep sitting up. Otherwise, I could not breathe. So I remember, and I also could barely eat because at this point, all I had was food service, and French food service menus are weird. Like, so I didn't know what was it. So then I found out that there was a McDonald's like on the next block. I'm like, ooh, yay. It literally took me, I'm not even kidding, an hour to walk a block to go to McDonald's. And everyone passing by me was like, ma'am, are you okay? And kept trying to help me. So anyway, so I doesn't matter about McDonald's. So I get back to my hotel. I finally get a flight after a week. And my mom had arranged a doctor's appointment for me for the next morning. So I get off my flight, and they had like put me in a wheelchair on the flight, wheelchair off the flight. Like I was in bad shape. And I remember sitting there at customs or whatever, and you see like, there's the rope, the security plate thing, and then people are waiting. So this is before 9/11. So this is before it got really crazy with security, but you can see people waiting for the people they're waiting for. And I see my parents. Now, at this point, by now, I could no longer speak. I couldn't generate a voice.
Yeah.
And so I could see my parents looking for me, and their eyeballs passed over me twice, and they didn't recognize me. Because that's how sick I was. That's
like,
how sick I was. Yeah,
Mommy, Daddy.
Like I had lost like 20 pounds in this short amount of time. I was frail. Like I just did not look like me. So finally, with what I had in me, I pushed myself up in the wheelchair, and I took everything I had, and I just yelled. It was like the only time I'd spoken. And I yelled, Jaime Legagneur. And my dad looks at me, and if a black man could turn white, he did. Like, he's like, holy bobbles, that's my daughter. And I have only seen my dad run that fast one time, if ever before in my life. It was to stop my brother from killing a kid that just called me the N-word. Like, that was how fast my dad was running. And he ran over and didn't care about security lines, and he picked me up. And, for me to be in college, my dad just scooped me up. I was nothing, right? I had barely eaten. So we go to the doctor's appointment the next morning, and my doctor had a lung machine, an x-ray machine, not a lung machine, that's not a thing, an x-ray machine. And she scanned my lungs, and she walks into the room, and I'll never forget this. She looks down at her paper and looks up at me and looks down at the paper and looks up at me, and her eyes are about to fall out of her head. Wow. She's like, I can't believe you survived the flight. And I'm like, and my mom's like, what? And she's like, I can't believe her lungs should have been, her right lung's completely collapsed. She needs to go to the hospital immediately. So my mom's like starting to gather her stuff, and she's talking to me about, telling my dad to come get us, and the doctor's like, you don't understand. I've already called an ambulance to come pick up your daughter to take her. She needs to be in medical care immediately. So that was it. I went over there, and they had to do all kinds of stuff. to get my lung back up, because what had happened was, since they didn't relieve the pressure, it put all that pressure on my diaphragm. My diaphragm, it's actually two separate muscles connected in the middle.
Yes.
And so just the right side went up and then collapsed that lung. So they had to remove a whole bunch of stuff from both within and without my lung, around my lung. And it's never been the same. And it has scar tissue, and it's constant aggravation. It itched for 10 years. You know, when you have an itch you can't scratch?
Yes.
That was my lung for 10 years. I got the hiccups every day for 10 years. So like, there are days when I just want to reach in there and just pull the dang on thing out because it drives me bananas. So yes, I hate my right lung. Left one's great. My left one's my best friend. I hate my right lung.
All right. Out of all the places that you were, out of your favorite places, Spain, France, England, Germany, Italy, what was your favorite place and why?
You know what? It's actually not on this list. I need to update it. My favorite place actually is New Orleans. New Orleans has a very, very special place in my heart. That's where I went to college. And it's funny, when I was deciding where to go, that was one of the few schools and areas I'd never been to. And my dad said to me, he's like, and he'd been there a few times on business. He said, trust me, you're going to love it. That's where you need to be. And I trusted him. My dad knows me very well. And he was so right. Number one, New Orleans has a Creole culture. So I already felt at home being of Haitian descent. You know, there's a lot of overlap there culturally.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that was really nice. And New Orleans is just one of those places where everyone is so warm and friendly. And I mean, the food's amazing. The music's amazing. If you're bored there, the problem is you. Like, I just love New Orleans. Love New Orleans. And I haven't been back since I graduated. So I haven't seen it since, even since Katrina. So I haven't seen it in so long. So I'm way overdue for a trip to New Orleans.
All right. One last question. On your bucket list, so you have a few things, but one is skydiving.
Yes.
Big fat no for me. No.
So this is so funny. You love roller coasters and won't skydive. I hate roller coasters and can't wait to skydive. But I won't,
because roller coasters are on the ground.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's see where we fall on this one. Would you ever bungee jump?
Oh, no.
Okay, see, I'm a no on that one too. At least, all right, so we come together on that one. No bungee jumping for Kat and Jemmy.
So I said that was the last question, but I do have to ask you this.
Sure.
So I was looking on your website, and you started a podcast called Business in the Bedroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have to ask. So go for it. I have to ask.
So, all right. I love, one of my favorite things is naming a podcast. When, you know, I have a lot of clients and stuff, and I have Florida Podcast Network. So I create some shows from scratch. And that's always my favorite part, is naming of a show. So when I decided to start my own solo show, it's the first of my own, completely my own show, no co-hosts, in a very, very, very long time. So my very, very first show was called Curve the Cube. And it was me interviewing other people who are doing what they love for a living and wanting to find out how they got there, you know, what was their journey like and how they made it. And I learned a lot. And over the course of that show, realized that podcasting was what I wanted to do for a living. And I fell in love with it. And it became my own story. I didn't expect it to, but it did. So then fast forward so many years, and I've now, you know, fully independent, podcasting full time. I have a team, all these things. I really felt the pull to get back on the microphone and now share everything that I learned and help other people. At the end of the day, that's my entire life's mission, is to help other people pursue their dreams for a living. And so I figured, let me get this show out there. And I called it Business in the Bedroom because that's how I started my business. It was in the bedroom. So even though it might get you to think of something else, bait and switch, y'all.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's where my head went.
Bait and switch. But what's funny is when somebody is a side hustler and is trying, you know, has their 9 to 5 and they're trying to build something, they're often doing it from their bedroom, you know?
Right.
And so for that person, and that's who it's speaking to. And when they see it, they immediately know. I've had so many people say, oh my gosh, that's me. Yes, that's me. So it's a practical guide for the newbie entrepreneur, and it's called Business in the Bedroom.
Well, Jemmy, it's been such a pleasure having you be a guest. And for those of you guys that don't know, she is so giving of information, whatever, if you have a question about doing a podcast, starting a podcast, she's just always giving little golden nuggets of information that you can use in your business. So Jemmy, thank you so much for being a guest. And I know I will see you in Clubhouse soon.
You are one of my favorite people to see in Clubhouse. And I always admire what you do. I've always admired what people who join the military are willing to do. I was a first responder as an EMT, and I worked alongside, police officers. And I've always thought the military was like the next level up. That's the next level of just massive pride with that badge. And to know that how many of you are willing to go out there and sacrifice, family time, sacrifice yourselves in so many ways, just I honor you. So thank you for allowing me to just be in your space. I truly appreciate it. I can't wait to continue to serve you, as I always say on Clubhouse.
You're so sweet. Well, everybody, I hope you got a chance to know Jemmy the person. And you guys probably already know about producer Jemmy, but if you have any questions, I'll make sure I drop all of her links and information in the show notes so you guys know exactly where to contact her if you need to. Jemmy, thank you so much again. Please have a great weekend. And for everyone else, as usual, stay safe, take care of each other, and until next time.